So, me as just an I don't normally look too deep into people's intentions if I feel like they're a good person or I feel like we have a good relationship and I don't have any other reason to question them. Usually if they're a friend, I'm not really too like, especially if I have a lot of other like good people around me and good situations going on, I don't really suspect people to be miserable or have like some kind of demon that they're fighting unless I am unable to miss it, like unless it's like blatantly blaringly clear that there's something going on. So a lot of the times I end up noticing things when they're a little too late or when they've been going on for a little too long. Sometimes I notice little things and I'll touch up on it, but I don't connect it to a deeper issue of the person being like chronically miserable. I have noticed that there are people who, no matter what's going on, no matter if it's a good day, a bad day, a medium day, nothing is happening, everything is happening, whatever is going on, they have an issue, they have some kind of something negative to say. I found that to be very hard to deal with. I found that to like really put a damper on my mood every time I was around this person, even if I wasn't directly talking to them, if I was just in the vicinity that they were in. It just is like, and then these people often turn into, for lack of a better term, mean people because they just have to nitpick at everything and everyone because they're unhappy in their own lives, but it does affect people who are closer to them more than it affects people who are not. For some reason, I feel like these people are more likely to do these things to their friends or their so-called friends than they are to do to people that they don't like. And I don't know where that comes from or why that is. It's always done in what seems to be like good fun or like just teasing or like, oh, that's just how I am kind of vibe. But there's definitely some intention behind it. It is definitely not something that is subconscious. And I had to learn that because, I mean, like I said, I don't really notice these things are as bad as they are until I'm noticing it, you know? So I definitely would think this is something that can be a conversation. This is something that they don't mean to do because I feel like they're a good person otherwise. But really, they're not. Really they're not. Really they're putting on this facade, and really the things that you're seeing that you don't like is the true them. And I think that we need to start taking in red flags with friends as well, and just people in general that you're dealing with throughout your life, not just romantic interests, because I feel like first of all you'll get good practice because there'll be a lot of people that have a lot of red flags and you'll be able to spot it easier, but also because I feel like before you have a romantic partner, you would have a friend. Whether that be that your romantic partner started off as just a person and then a friend and then, you know, so on and so forth, or that be just that like you're just going throughout your life dealing with people and never really thinking about a romantic interest, you know what I mean? But either way, I think we need to just start seeing things for what they are and taking people for who they are, and instead of trying to create this picture or this offer up this explanation on their behalf to ourselves, because we're defending these people's character and like how they make us feel and what they're doing to ourselves, and then sometimes other people. But I think for the most part that's where it starts. There really needs to be some kind of just like taking things at face value, because at the end of the day, when you go to the store and you see that a package is open or tampered with, do you still buy it, giving it the benefit of the doubt that nobody tampered with it? No, you buy the one that is completely packaged, right? Honestly, I'm really just talking to myself. But I figured this was a conversation that I could have in this space. I feel like I definitely have made the mistake of giving people benefit of the doubt and making up excuses for them, or even just having the explanation for why they are the way that they are, and saying like, hey, like, we know why they are the way that they are, so then can we really be mad? But I mean, do you have to be mad to preserve yourself and your energy? No. And I think I'm learning that. This most recent situation, I wanted to be mad. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to fight. I wanted to argue. I wanted to have this person feel the way that they made me feel. But then I decided to choose myself. I feel like it's just really not worth it. It's really not worth my energy. It's really not worth me coming out of my element, out of my face for something so little. Something that could easily be resolved, something that I know if I do it the way that I'm supposed to do it, which is protecting myself and backing away, it'll definitely hurt the person more than if I was to explode. Because I feel like when you give some kind of reaction, it gives them space for a excuse, it gives them space for a conversation. And I looked at myself and I thought, like, do I want to have a conversation? This is something that I can get over, and it's not. So with that, I'm just gonna take my leave, and that's it. I think that is something that I'm practicing, I'm getting better at, and I wanted to share that. There's not really much else to say except look at things for what they are, check in with yourself, and make sure you're having the proper conversations and taking your time to react to things, and not letting people or a person take you out of your element. Never. Don't ever let that happen, please. It's really not cute. It's really not fun. Like, when you look back on it, you always regret it. So just don't. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is unfavorable situations, because I unfortunately have been put in the position by my work that I want to leave. I literally was just talking about how, like, my job is decent and I'm not, like, super mad at it, and, you know, they do the little things, which I've resolved because I stopped doing extra stuff and it's been much better. But now they are extending my work hours later into the night. For example, on some days I start work at 10:30, 11, and I would end at 7:30. Now they're extending it to 11:30, 8:30 to 8:30 or something like that, whatever the time frame is, because my brain is scrambled. But anyway, so yeah, they're making us work later into the day, or later into the night, which will literally be my whole entire day. Like, it was already kind of my whole entire day, but I still had, like, some kind of time to do stuff after work. Now it feels like there will be absolutely nothing that I could do after work, and I don't like that. They decided, let's just change everything around and not tell our staff until the last minute, and basically give them no option but to adhere to the changes, because this is such a last minute change that nobody had time or space to go and find another job, which I tried to do and am still trying to do. But, you know, the job market is fucking horrible. So what I wanted to do, similar to the other situation, is lash out. Like, I wanted to lash out. I wanted to be like, you clearly don't care about your staff, you clearly don't care about us, or do some kind of silent passive aggressive something. You know, I wanted to do that. I cried because I felt like it's unfair that people have that much power over my life, that they could just do something like this and I just have to go along with it. And it made me feel like, what could I do to better myself and get myself out of the situation, so I don't ever have to deal with something like this again. And I know it's not like the biggest thing, and it's not the worst thing in the world that could have happened with a job, but it still was very fucked up to me. And I feel like it made me really start looking at, like, what do you want to do with your life? Because I definitely could have just, like, went into this deep depression like I almost did, or like just like kind of go into autopilot like I almost did, but I used it as an opportunity to look within myself and say, like, hey, you've been comfortable for a while. There's nothing wrong with that, but like, what do you want to do for real? Like, what is it that you need to do? What steps do you need to take in order to get to the places that you want to be? And I think I'm really going to look into voice acting, because I feel like I have a very good voice, and I think that I could definitely do voice acting. I think I'm animated enough for it. I've decided to start looking at courses and things that I could do to further my knowledge as well, because I think it's just time for me to live a new chapter. Like, I've been living this same chapter for a while now, and yeah, I don't even know where I started with this, but the whole point of this video is that I'm realizing things about myself. I'm changing things about myself. I'm processing things differently. I'm learning lessons that I didn't think I ever needed to learn. And I am ready to go on to the next step. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I am going to go because the sun is rapidly setting and is getting more and more noisy as I sit out here. As usual, make sure you're checking your labels, make sure you're checking in with yourself in the mirror, make sure you're drinking enough water, make sure you are standing up for yourself and you're processing your emotions before you make decisions. And enjoy the day, enjoy the time, enjoy the present, and I will see you next week with my music review video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.